Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today in this video we'll be solving one problem from LeetCode. The problem is best time to buy and sell stock. So if you see here, this is an easy problem from LeetCode. So you generally get this type of question in interviews when your interviewer try to evaluate you on how quickly you can come up with an optimal solution for a easy problem. So we will start here from a brute force approach and we'll see how we can get to an optimal solution and what kind of approach we should be taking for this kind of problems. Before starting this video, let me tell you that this video is a part of our competitive programming series. If you haven't watched that playlist yet, I would highly recommend you to watch it to enhance your competitive programming skills. And also if you're new to this channel and you are interested in competitive programming or any other tech related stuff, you can check out the content on our channel. And if you like the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So let's start with this video. So let's go through the problem description. Say you have an array for which the ith element is the price of the given stock on day I. So for example, let's say if you are given an array of integers, then every integer here will be the price of the given stock on day I. So you can think of this as a price of stock on the first day, this on the second day, this on the third day, and similarly we have for other 3 days. Okay. Now if you were only permitted to complete at most one transaction, that is buy one and sell one share of the stock, design an algorithm to find the maximum profit. Note that you cannot sell a stock before you buy one. So let's go through the test cases. So for this one, we have this input 715364 and the output is 5. So here on the explanation it is mentioned that buy on day 2 means on day 2 if you buy the price is 1, and if you sell on the day 5 where the price is 6, then you will get the profit of 5. And in the next line it is mentioned that 7 minus 1 is 6. So if you buy your stock on the first day and you sell it on the second day, you cannot do that because the selling price has to be greater than the buying price. Then only you will be able to get some profit. So this is not allowed. So similarly, if you see in the second test case, here the input is 76431 because here there is no stock for which you can get profit. So whenever you will buy any stock, let's say if you buy on the second day, then after that the selling price would be always lesser. That means you always have a loss if you sell it. So that is the reason the output is 0. So here in the explanation they mention that in this case no transaction is done. That is max profit equal to 0. So now we'll see the brute force approach for this problem and then we will see if we can optimize that particular solution. So for that I'll go to my IntelliJ editor. So here in the brute force approach what we can do is we can simply iterate over this array, and for every stock price we can check if we can sell that particular stock on any given day to make any profit. So here if we say we buy this stock at 7, then we should be able to sell this particular stock with profit. So here if you see all these elements are lesser than this stock price, so we won't be able to do this transaction. So for this kind of comparison, what generally do, we generally use a nested loop where we can have two pointers, let's say I and j. So basically I will be pointing to the first stock for which we'll be checking all other stock prices. So for example, let's say if you buy this stock at 7, then we will check if there is any other stock price which is greater than this stock price so that we can sell it and we can get the profit out of it. So for 7 we do not have any such element, so what we can do, we can simply increment the I to the next element, and for 1 we can check if we can make profit on any given day. So for example, let's say if we buy this particular stock at 1, we can simply make profit of 4 by selling it on the next day. And similarly we check for the next price which is 3, here we will make profit of 2, and then next here we will be making profit of 5, and similarly for this we will make profit of 3. So here as we see that if we buy this stock at 1 and sell it at 6, we will make a profit of 5, and as 5 is the maximum profit, we will simply save 5, and we'll iterate the same process for the next elements. For 5 we'll check if there is any maximum profit we can get, and similarly we will do for 3 and then 6 and then 4, and in that way we'll simply keep the maximum profit. So here if you see, as we are using nested loop, we know that time complexity would be order of n square and the space complexity would be order of 1 as we are not using any extra space. Next we'll see if we can optimize this time complexity. So for that I'll take you to the presentation. So here I have taken the same example. So the idea here is to keep a track of minimum price at which we can buy a stock, and then we will also keep a track of maximum profit we can make out of it. So we'll start in this way. We'll iterate over this array So we'll start in this way. We'll simply iterate over this array, and initially what we need to do, we need to initialize two variables. One would be the minimum price, and we'll set it to the some maximum value. Here I have taken integer max value, and we'll set the maximum profit at 0 because as we have seen in the second test case, we shouldn't be selling anything if there is no profit. Okay, so in that case the maximum profit would be 0. Now we will start with the first element of this array. We will simply check if this price is lesser than this mean price. If it is the case, then we'll simply update this mean price. And also at this position we cannot sell this particular stock, right? Because if we sell on the same day, we'll have a profit of 0. So similarly we'll move to the next element. So here for the first element, we simply check if this price is lesser than the mean price, then we simply update the mean price. So this will get updated to 7. Then we'll move to the next element. The idea here is that we shouldn't be selling on the same day because the maximum profit would be 0. That's why we move to the next element. We simply check if this is lesser than the mean price. If it is the case, we'll simply update it. So in this case it is lesser than 7, so we'll simply update the mean price, and then we'll move to the next element. For next element, we check if it is lesser than the mean price. Here it is not lesser than the mean price, so we'll go to the next condition where we simply check if we sell this particular stock on at this price, what is the profit. If it is greater than the maximum profit, we will also update the max profit. Okay, so here in this case, as the minimum price is 1 and we are trying to sell this stock at price 5, so obviously we will have a profit of 4. So 4 is greater than 0, so we can simply update the max profit to 4. So here what we are basically doing is we are keeping a track of minimum price at which we can buy a stock, and also we are keeping a track where we can sell our stock with a maximum profit. So next we'll move to the next element. Here we can see that this value is not lesser than the mean price, and in that case we can simply check if we sell this stock at this price whether our profit will be greater than the max profit. In this case the profit is 2, right? So here max profit is already 4, so we'll simply skip this and we'll move to the next element. So here 6 is not lesser than the mean price, so mean price will remain same, and then we'll move to the next condition where we'll see if we sell the stock at this price, we'll obviously get a profit of 5, which is greater than max profit. So here we'll simply update the max profit. Now the max profit is 5. Now we'll move to the next element. So here the value is 4, which is greater than mean price, and for the second condition, if we sell this particular stock at 4, we will get a profit of 3, which is lesser than max profit. So we'll not update this max profit. So as we have reached to the end of this array, we can simply return maximum profit, which will be your answer. So here we got our output only in one pass. That means the time complexity would be order of n and space complexity would be order of 1, as we haven't used any extra space. So I hope the explanation is clear to you. You can expect sometimes to get this type of question in your interviews, so be prepared for that. Now it's time to see some code. So here if you see, I have written a method called max profit which takes integer array as parameter. So here what I did, I simply initialize the mean price with the maximum value and max profit with 0, and then I iterate over this array and check if this price is less than the mean price, then we'll simply update the mean price. And then in the second condition, we simply check if we sell this stock at this price, then whether this profit is greater than max profit. In that case, we'll simply update the max profit as well. And at the end, we'll simply return the max profit. So here, if you see, I have taken the similar example. If we run this, so here if you see, we got 5. Similarly, we have a similar method at Kotlin. So here I have written this method max profit where I am taking this int array as a input parameter, and here I have initialized mean price with maximum value of integer and max profit with 0, and then I am iterating over this prices array, and I am checking if this price is less than mean price, then I'll simply update the mean price. Otherwise, I'll check if we make more profit on selling this particular stock at this price, we'll simply update the max profit, and at the end of this iteration we'll simply return the max profit. So for this as well, we should be getting 5. So I hope the code is clear to you. It is quite straightforward and simple. So the idea here is to understand that you can get some simple problem in your interview questions. Don't try to jump to an optimal solution at the very beginning if the problem is not known to you. That might complicate things. First, go through the problem description carefully. Ask question to your interviewer if everything is clear to you. Try to ask more test cases and try to do a dry run on that to understand what is the ask. and then start writing your solution. Okay, that's all about this video. If you learned something from this video, please hit the like button, and if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press that bell icon so that you get notified for our upcoming new videos. Thank you for watching.